Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So Cathie Wood of ARK Invest, she continues to stand by her firm's prediction that Bitcoin is likely to hit $1 million by the year 2030. This was brought to us by XRP Crypto Wolf. A lofty prediction, but we're still only about almost 7 years out now. Sometimes, here's a quote, sometimes you need the battle test. You need to go through crises to see the survivors. First of all, the investor noted, Wood admitted that the ongoing debacle is likely to delay institutional adoption. High-profile investors will step back to figure out whether they really understand Bitcoin. However, the superstar investor is convinced that the institutional players might even end up being more comfortable with Bitcoin after doing their homework. Another quote here, once they actually do their homework and see what's happened here, I think they might be comfortable moving into Bitcoin and perhaps Ether as a first step, she noted. Wood is convinced that institutions actually have to gain a better understanding of the two largest cryptocurrencies. So, Cathie Wood standing by her prediction, Bitcoin to $1 million by the year 2030. If we take a look at the Bitcoin chart right now Bitcoin's trading at about $16,500. So, we have seen, 2022 was a bear year, culminating in a 75% decrease for Bitcoin, at least as of the time of this recording, almost about 76% down for Bitcoin. Bitcoin did touch down 77%. So, this isn't even the largest drop we have seen for Bitcoin. In the past, we did see the market go down about 85%. It was about 84 back in 2018, and that took about a year to complete. And now we're down about 77%. So we're in and around that range. The bottom could be in for Bitcoin and many other cryptocurrencies by default. If I throw a Fibonacci on this and I throw it, and let's just assume this is the bottom. We don't really know yet if this is the bottom or not, but let's just assume it is. We take that off auto and we bring it up here. If we are to catapult from here, even if we do make another full Fibonacci extension, that would only bring Bitcoin to $240,000. So what Cathie Wood here is suggesting is that we still have a few, or at least a couple of bull runs to go before we see that Bitcoin at $1 million, at least theoretically. And the crypto market has suffered a big setback, and Cathie Wood is not the only one suggesting this. Institutional players are going to second guess the situation. David Schwartz has come out and criticized this statement, though. This is absolutely outrageous for so many reasons. I have no words. I think this is from Paul Krugman from the New York Times. This is what he was quoted as saying, everything about cryptocurrency is fraudulent. They are not real currencies. The industry is one big Ponzi scheme. The selective outrage over FTX's collapse is misplaced. Okay, so you can see how they're trying to protect Sam Bankman-Fried. He goes on to say SBF took money from fraudsters and donated it to good causes. There is nothing wrong with that. So this is how they're trying to posit Sam Bankman-Fried in and amongst the crypto industry. And this is just ultimately ass backwards, as David Schwartz points out here. Elizabeth Warren also stated her criticism of the crypto industry, this posted by Ian Binns here, and David Schwartz commented on this as well, actually agreeing with her on certain points. So David Schwartz, the CTO at Ripple, believes that Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren might actually have a point when it comes to crypto regulation. In a recent op-ed published by the Wall Street Journal, Warren argues that crypto might end up taking down the economy if there is no proper oversight. So, of course, this is all going to go back to regulatory clarity, what we have been wanting from the beginning, at least, in some kind of capacity where companies like Ripple can really thrive and, really make their purpose be known, utilize certain cryptocurrencies in real-world settings that would ultimately drive value to these particular coins. Even though the senator acknowledges that cryptocurrencies could potentially make the financial system more inclusive, she also points to the fact that history is littered with all kinds of fraudulent financial schemes that were advertised by criminals and charlatans. I gotta say, this SBF thing it's not a good look for crypto, certainly. If there are people within government, which, more and more as the days go on, more evidence is suggesting that Sam Bankman-Fried was just a puppet, a decoy for them to use to collapse the crypto market and have all kinds of reasons as to why things need to be different than they are today. And so this is what we've got now. Warren argues that cryptocurrency executives who break the law are no different from other tools, which is why the Justice Department should use its full range of tools. Let me just go down here. David Schwartz did talk about this. He did agree with her to a degree. He argues that is not an awful position to work with, since Senator Warren recognizes the importance of changing cryptocurrency regulation. He adds that this is important for getting crypto rules right. It almost seems like, we're 2 steps back, but we haven't really moved anywhere. We've been waiting for the crypto regulation. We've been waiting with bated breath, investing in the coins that, we know will solve problems in the future. And yet, as we're doing this, as we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, the crypto market is seeing more turmoil than I had expected. I did not think we would see these types of collapses, but, it's got to burn to the ground before those cryptocurrencies rise like a phoenix from the ashes, as they say. We are seeing some great projects, though, guys, doing some great things. This some news out of China with regards to Vechain, coming from Cryptic Poet here. China is seeking to utilize Vechain's blockchain platform to reduce carbon emissions by leveraging V-Carbon's feature to adopt renewable energy. Another point here, Vechain's POA 2.0 upgrade will enhance sustainable growth and development for the platform, including an increase in the adoption rate. So they are looking to be adopted more quickly, and they're obviously tinkering with the platform to be able to promote that increased adoption, spurred on by government drive to achieve carbon neutrality by 2060 and peak carbon emissions by 2030. China is witnessing increased projects in renewable energy with blockchain at the center of these initiatives. So Vechain obviously a part of this. This was posted originally by Eisenreich here on Twitter. China's policy for reaching key carbon reduction targets, peak carbon emissions by 2030, and carbon neutrality by 2060 in this initial release. And so Vechain, guys, a very popular blockchain option in China. They want to be at the forefront of this technology frontier, and so they're doing what they can in order to achieve that. The V-Carbon system is specifically designed to tackle complex climate control issues, with carbon data tracking becoming a crucial part of the global climate control mechanism. China intends to leverage Vechain's innovative platform to trace and ensure transparency in carbon emissions data. So working very hard to be able to track this carbon data for China specifically. Of course, China is, one of the biggest polluters on planet Earth. So we can definitely define a problem there. Vechain looking to solve that, and it looks like they are one of the front runners in the market. So wanted to thank Cryptic Poet for posting that. Crypto's not going anywhere. I do have a problem with this, though, when Sam Bankman-Fried still thinks he's relevant to speak on a panel, and I don't know if this is still happening. I think people are also wondering if this is still happening. John Deaton asking this, if this happens, then I've lost all faith in our justice system. So Sam Bankman-Fried is on a panel of speakers. Okay, SBF confirmed today he will be speaking at the NYT for the Deal Block Summit. Other speakers include Zelensky, Zuckerberg, and Yellen, not to mention Larry Fink, chairman and CEO of BlackRock. So there's Sam Bankman-Fried there. The mayor of New York City, the founder and co-CEO of Netflix. We got former Vice President Mike Pence here, Secretary Janet Yellen, Zelensky, Mark Zuckerberg, just to name a few. So wondering if Sam Bankman-Fried is going to show up on this panel. And like I said earlier, more and more evidence is suggesting that these guys knew about FTX. They knew about Sam Bankman-Fried. I also saw this from Matthew Lany here on Twitter. The FDIC knew FTX was insolvent. Guess when, guys? October 12th, 2022. Is that how bankruptcy filings are supposed to work? Were government officials given a heads up, or did they know all along? Any info on this would be much appreciated. So this is just the cover page here, Digital Assets, 360-degree view from October the 12th, 2022, so only about a month ago. And it is from the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. And just taking a look at this page here, guys, recent events, bankruptcy in fintech. And you guys can see some of the recent events that they highlight here. As of October the 12th, 2022, we got Terra Luna, Three Arrows Capital, we got Celsius involved in this, and some other connections here, FTX. Now, I don't know in what kind of capacity that they are described in this paper. However, it does make you wonder. Couple that along with this, guys, from Alexander the Hodler here on Twitter. Terry Duffy slips and admits he bribes the CFTC as well. So this was a Fox News piece. If you guys just read down here, creepy crypto fraudster Sam Bankman-Fried. So it's talking about SBF and the Democrats and how he was their second largest donor. But just listen to what this guy here, Terry Duffy, says, a bit of a slip of the tongue.
You assessed his character and his vibe because you met with him in person, but you also assessed the fundamentals of his company as someone involved in business would. Why did none of the regulators do that? Where was Gary Gensler?
Well, I don't know where Gary Gensler was, but my regulator at the CFTC, I asked them, why in the world are...
I asked them, why in the world...
Gary Gensler was, but my regulator at the CFTC, I asked them, why in the world
Oh, gee. Doesn't look good, does it? On a positive note, though, guys, Ripple partners are continuing to make waves, and we're continuing to see the network build overseas, despite what's happening with regards to crypto regulation in the United States specifically. This one brought to us by T-Hole Betic. Esker and Quadient partner with the French government to develop electronic invoicing in France. Now, Ripple ODL customer FleetCor's CorePay was announced as an upcoming integration to Esker, which manages over 300 billion euros in transactions every single year. So this was the announcement from back in February of 2022. Esker and CorePay, they did team up to offer business payments. And now we're getting this news, guys. Esker and Quadient partner to develop electronic invoicing in France. Automation solutions provider Esker and communication solutions supplier Quadient have partnered with the French government's upcoming partner dematerialization platform to help businesses comply with tax regulations. French finance law requires that invoice exchanges between VAT taxpayers must be transmitted in a structured data format or hybrid format. So this has to do specifically with business taxes in France, but we are noticing that FleetCor is a partner of Esker. Now we're seeing Esker work with the French government, so that partnership could involve the RippleNet network, leveraging ODL, considering FleetCor is a specifically FleetCor is an ODL partner, and also just making that note how they manage over 300 billion euros in transactions per year. It would only make sense that they'd want to streamline this, put it on the blockchain. So an interesting piece of news there from T-Hole Betic. Wrath of Kahneman also bringing this to our attention. Santander is a Ripple partner. The LinkedIn page for the head of Santander Payments and FX from Pago NTX is also the RippleNet committee member. Interesting. Does this add credence to the idea that Pago NTX or NXT, in addition to OnePay FX, may be using RippleNet? And so the connector here, Mike Schumacher. So more Ripple partners, guys, and in this particular case, we're seeing those Ripple partnered companies. We're seeing, executives and other employees from these companies move over, right? Migrate from company to company. So just another example here of where we're seeing this type of thing happening. There is still no confirmation, but, putting the pieces of the puzzle together, it is interesting to note. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. Got a lot to go through, guys. Cryptic Poet posting this. So this has to do with Ripple partner Neum. Neum just launched a closed-loop payment solution for airlines and OTAs. NAP aims to provide airlines, travel agents, and online travel agencies with a sustainable and equitable closed payment loop model, closed-loop payment model, looking to put a halt to damaging surcharges and business-restricting non-acceptance policies that are known to have been inflating B2B travel payment costs. So they're looking to streamline payment costs. And of course, Ripple-enabled Neum is looking to be a part of this. As per information offered by the company's press release, the technology for the solution is provided by Neum via its acquisition of Icarus in 2021, a travel payments optimization company. Among the first contracts that Neum has made for the solution includes Air Europa, which was looking to collaborate with the payments company to solve inequalities associated with traditional card payment models, which are known today to offer travel agents and OTAs financial incentives that strike at the core of an airline's margins. So being able to streamline these types of payments specifically for air travelers and, just by extension, of course, air travelers are going to be traveling to different regions. So we're also likely going to see a lot of different currencies that need to be handled with regards to these types of payments. And so what better option than Neum, right? Ripple enabled can leverage XRP through ODL for those types of payments to be able to streamline the FX transfer. Just down here, offering these capabilities, the solution enables companies of the likes of Air Europa to benefit from significantly reduced per payment cost savings, faster settlement times, and flexible incentives for sellers, all without there being a requirement for additional technological integration. Boom, there you have it. Put it on the XRPL, faster settlement times, cost per savings. Let's think about that. Margins are going to go down. That's going to make travelers very happy, and especially if they need to transfer one type of fiat currency to another. All things that RippleNet solves for. So an interesting bit of news there. Wanted to thank Cryptic Poet for posting that. Also notice this guy's from Stefan Hubert. Ripple is looking for a new senior sales representative for the US home market. One task here, to get expertise of common misconceptions and counter arguments against Ripple's products in the US market. So this is what came out first. Senior Sales Development Representative. Apply now. This is on Ripple's website. We know Ripple is always hiring in all kinds of different positions. But if you take a look at this, okay, Ripple is growing and we're looking to hire a senior sales development representative, or an SDR, based in San Francisco or New York to help cover our domestic market. And I guess this is just one for New York. So the only difference here, this one was posted for New York specifically, and this one was posted for San Francisco. But basically, it's the same job detail. But look at what Stéphane Hubert has noticed, okay? One task here to get expertise of common misconceptions and counter arguments against Ripple's products in the US market. Clarity needs to be close. First, there's the advertising. Now there is the salespeople. They are posting these job posts in the United States strategically, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. And ultimately, I mean, flying within the US is fairly easy, so I'm sure whoever gets this job doesn't really matter where they are. But the interesting point to this, first, we did see the advertising for Ripple. Now we are seeing sales representatives. So what are they going to likely be tasked to do? Getting more American companies on RippleNet once we get that clarity. So now Stéphane's thought is they're looking to fill these positions now because they know clarity is coming soon. Also, let's think about this, guys. Let's think about the timing and where the world is at with regards to the economy. Black Swan Capitalist posted this. Global credit markets are drying up. The lack of liquidity means that borrowing and lending becomes difficult. The systemic risk could result in a lockup of the financial system, ICE 9 scenario. Now, I described ICE 9 a little bit in a video I did a few months ago with Jim Rickards talking about it. I'll see if I can find that video, and I'll link it up here in the top right-hand corner for you. And so, guys, what has Ripple been doing? It's been in drips and drabs, but what I've noticed is that they are slowly but surely covering the entire globe with ODL accessibility. So he posted this, XRP poised to break new ground as Ripple unveils this new $1 trillion worth ODL corridor. And I feel like Africa was that last piece of the puzzle. So we just got this news last week, right? The MFS Africa news from the Swell Conference, ODL now in Africa. So let's put things into perspective here, guys. I saw this from XRP Arcades. And these are XRP markets and certain exchanges that have been strategically set up in these markets for ODL specifically. Okay, so we got BitCub in Thailand, Bitso in Mexico, Bitstamp in the United Kingdom, Bittrex in the United States, BTC markets in Australia, and Coins.ph in the Philippines. So we are essentially covering Southeast Asia. We've got North America covered with Mexico and the United States. We've got Europe covered with the United Kingdom. We've got Australia covered, and the Philippines as well. So that region too of Southeast Asia, all covered with these ODL exchanges. Let's also not forget, back in August earlier this year, Ripple unveils crypto on-demand liquidity services in Brazil. So now we're starting to get other regions of the world covered, namely South America. And South America has been another one of those markets that Ripple has been trying to permeate. In this particular case, they partnered with digital bank Travelex. So we've got North America, we've got South America, we've got Europe. We also have the MENA region, guys. Ripple continues to build momentum in the MENA region, so that's the Middle East, with first on-demand liquidity deployment in the Middle East, and this was from October of 2021. Of course, there's the Asian market as well, although I do think that more ODL hubs are likely to be placed strategically in Asia, as it is a large region. Thailand is one of them, and we know Japan is running on Ripple as well. And then Africa, guys, being that last key market. So it's looking as though Ripple is strategically placing themselves and has been successful at doing so all across the world. All this while an ICE 9 market scenario is coming slowly but surely, sneaking up towards us. And, the proof is in the pudding here. As Stéphane Hubert puts it, first is the advertising, now the salespeople. We're going to get a verdict soon so that Ripple can finally permeate the most important market, the United States of America. That is my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.